Hey everyone, and welcome to the PlantStock channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jesse, and on this channel we focus on plant-based companies like TTCF that we're going to talk about a little today. And I thought we would talk about two things. First, that it seems that Sam Galletti, the CEO, is thinking about selling some of his stock. Now the question obviously is how many, and also the upcoming earnings. So stay tuned for that. And as always, I would appreciate an early thumbs up to help spread the video to more people. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you want to be part of this channel, getting information regarding TTCF, Oatly, Beyond Meat, the Very Good Food Company, to name a few, make sure to subscribe and don't forget that bell button. And also, if you want to be part of the free Discord channel where we talk about these companies, then take a look in the description. Thank you, folks. I truly appreciate your help. Now, first of all, it does seem that we've gotten a prospectus where it basically states that Sam Galletti could start selling his shares. And the thing that could be a bit disconcerting is that it actually states, if I understand it correctly, according to the foolish investor here, if you haven't seen his video on this, take a look. He explains it quite well, and he does a really good job on his channel. So maybe subscribe and take a more look at his channel. But again, guys, it does state that it is possible for him to sell a pretty large amount of his shares if he should want to. Now, should it be a problem if he wants to sell his stocks? Well, in many ways, I guess it shouldn't be. I mean, it is his companies, it is his stocks. He does what he wants with them. But I think a lot of investors, obviously, like me, if he would sell a large amount of it, would be concerned. And the reason is because if you own a large share, a large part of your company, well, hopefully the idea is that you're going to work a lot harder for the company, right? Because you want it to succeed, because it's going to affect your individual shares, right? Your individual future money. And according to Christopher Meyer, who wrote the book, we often talk about this on the channel, right? Is 100 baggers, right? What's the markings of a company that could reach 100 bagger, 100x? Well, one of the bigger ones is that the management team, and especially the CEO, is heavily invested in their own company, right? Which Sam is definitely. He has like over 30 million shares. So again, if he actually then chose to sell a large amount of shares, which this perspective actually gives an idea he has the right to do then, well, then that might make some investors out there, even me, start to question how much does he care about the company right now? How hard is he going to work for the company right now? Obviously, it all depends on the amount. And personally, I have a hard time believing that he would sell a large share of it, because he wants to keep the control, right? And he wants to be the one that actually sets them straight when it comes to their future. Now, me and Emmanuel, by the way, me and Emmanuel Finance, we're going to live stream this event together now on Wednesday. So be part of that. We're going to live stream the conference call. We had to talk about this regarding, is it a big deal? And he actually made a fair point that I meant that, well, Sam has been working with these kinds of companies now for 20, 30 years. He's the one who's built up the company, built up the brand, right? He's been doing a great job. So if he wants to, take profit, I guess to some extent, then why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he enjoy his great fortune and everything that he's done so far? And I could resonate with that to some extent, again, depending on how big of an amount he would actually choose to sell. But also, what would be the reason if he did sell a little bit more than many of us would actually think is preferable? Could it be that he might sell it because he is planning to acquire other companies out there that would be more than they have in the cash balance, or that he doesn't want to threaten the cash balance, considering what volatile times we live in now in the market, right? With inflation and shipping costs going higher. So there might be different reasons for that, right? Now, we know what's been going on with Elon Musk as of late, right? Having to sell maybe 10% of his stocks. Not sure if he actually has to, but he's chosen to sell 10% of his stock, which is going to be in a large amount, right? About $22 billion. But it has to do with paying taxes. but also there's speculation that he might be using the rest of the money to fund other of his projects like SpaceX, because they seem to need money and funds. So that's part of my speculation, that Sam might have some ideas for that, if it is that he chooses to sell some of that money. But the fact is, we don't yet know what he would be doing with that money if he starts selling. And if it is that he just wants to take a small profit, maybe enjoy himself a bit more, maybe buy a couple of houses, or maybe just invest in other things, right? That could maybe get that money going up. But I have a hard time believing that he would sell a large amount of this company. Why I believe that is because, as you know, me and a lot of us believe, and I think a lot of us investors believe, that this is a 10x company in the next 10 years or so. So why then sell a larger amount now when you could actually 10x that amount of money, right? But again, this is something I'm going to keep an eye on for sure, like I'm sure many of you are going to, and you should, because again, the CEO that takes care of our company, we want him to actually be properly motivated, right? So he doesn't actually sell out most of his shares, because that would, to me, in ways, be disconcerting. What about you guys? What's your opinion on this? Let me know down in the comments. And then we get to what to expect now when it comes to the revenue for Q3, right? That's coming up now on Wednesday, 10th of November, right? Well, if you take a look at what the two analysts looking at this right now on Yahoo Finance, what they believe, it's going to be around $64 million, $63 to $64 million, right? And I know a lot of us, or a lot of you, want the company to actually beat those earnings, right? To actually go past $64 million. 65, maybe 67, up to 70. And I'm gonna say that I don't dare to speculate too much on this, considering what's been going on, right? With inflation, shipping costs, and also, you know, one of the reasons, as I've said before, why they didn't reach their earnings goal in Q2, as we've talked about a couple months ago, I think it is because restaurants were starting to opening up again, right? People taking their vaccines, so people were out more during those summer months and eating a lot more at restaurants. So if you eat out a lot more, why would you buy frozen foods as much during that period? And I think Q2 is normally the weaker period for a company like that anyhow. And the months that this Q3 report is actually reporting on is going to be July, August, and September. And that's pretty much, depending on where you live though, that's the summer months too, to some extent. And if people have been going out like crazy to restaurants, I do think it could impact the company. It doesn't mean that I'm saying it's going to, but that's something to keep in mind depending on what the revenue is like, right? But we know they've gotten some great deals during this time too. They got the Kroger deal, right, with 1,800 new stores, which will definitely impact the revenues. But the problem is that they weren't going to start selling them until September, right? And since they're mostly getting the revenues from July, August, and September, and if it's already only been there since September, and I don't think we know when in September, right? That means that we won't see such a big slice of those revenues in this Q3 report. We'll probably see a lot more in Q4. So just something to keep in mind also. But then again, to get a more nuanced picture of it too, right? To balance it out. I mean, they have been making deals constantly during the whole year, right? And those other stores that they've landed on, the sales might have started skyrocketing there. So who knows, we could beat the earnings maybe. And obviously that would make us all very happy. But as you know me, I don't really care about this short-term noise. Still very early days, right? So I don't think if you're a long-term investor, even if they don't meet the expectations this time either, yeah, that's something we're gonna have to deal with. But I don't think that necessarily means that this company isn't going to do great in the next 5 to 10 years anyhow, considering the circumstances around in society at the moment. And again, guys, if you want more information regarding the Q2 earnings and what I thought about that, take a look at it here. All right, folks, that was it for today. I truly hope you got a lot of value from today's video. And if you did, make sure to smash that like button. And if you want to be part of the channel, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click that bell button. And please feel free to join our free, great Discord in the description, the PlantStock community, right? You're welcome. Thank you guys for all your help. Hope to see you soon. And don't forget that this was not financial advice. These were just my own thoughts and opinions. It's important to do your own due diligence. And don't forget about the Q3 earnings call now on Wednesday with me and Emmanuel. Peace out.